How to determine information asset classification and ownership. Remember, true ownership is with executive management because that's where liability actually falls. But the responsibilities, when we talk about ownership here, we're usually talking about responsibility and duty of care. So we want to determine asset classification and ownership, identify and document information assets within the organization. You got to know what you have. You have a robbery, what's missing? What assets are gone? You don't know, you're not going to be able to file insurance claims on it. Establish data categories, sensitivity, how the data is supposed to be protected, define groups and permissions, who's allowed to access it, and how are they allowed to access it. Maybe they have read-only permission. Maybe they can only write data to something. They can't do both. You know, someone creates a file, but they can't actually see the contents. It's generated from other activity they've done, but they're not privy to the end result. Someone else is privy to the end result, but not how it's created. Define areas of ownership or responsibility. Functional management comes in heavily here, and they're going to task things out to people below them. Evaluate and select controls to enforce classification, permissions, and ownership. Controls are safeguards and countermeasures. And this could be access control lists, permission structures, locks, doors, guards. Could be physical, could be logical. Logical is also known as technical controls. Could be administrative or managerial controls. Policy being put in place, stating who's allowed and who isn't allowed. Document the classification, ownership, and valuation methods. You want to be able to use this in a consistent manner. Everything should be documented. Everything should be reviewed using the same criteria to establish a fair and reasonable classification. So you pick the proper level of controls that you need, the proper security. And conduct periodic reviews. Because over time, that which worked today may not work next week, may not work next month. There's bad guys out there, they're clever. There's inside people that go, I couldn't access the internet last week, but I found a bunch of new proxies this week, and I can get out on that proxy and surf any site I like, and the company's not going to know because they only see an address for the proxy, and since they haven't blocked it, I can surf the whole web.